Have you ever felt misinterpreted? You know, not being given the opportunity to explain yourself, to express yourself. Maybe something happened and you were expecting them to say, okay, Lizzie, tell us what happened. Since this thing involved you and someone else. And then they acted as though your own story, your own part of the story doesn't matter. And it's not something that just happened maybe once or twice. It's something that has been repeated, like it has been happening repeatedly. And then at some point you stop trying to explain. You stop trying to. At times, when you're even given the opportunity to explain, after explaining, they will still say what they want to say. At some point, you stop trying to explain to these people, and then you start looking for someone who will hear you out there, someone who will give you a listening ear and understand what happened and where you're coming from, your own part of the story. It is not wrong to share those stories, but who you share the story with matters, right? There's nothing wrong with you sharing your story, sharing what happened and want to be heard. Everybody wants to be heard. We are all humans and we deserve to be heard. But who you share the story with matters. Like it is important that you don't just move around sharing your story with everybody that cares to listen, that gives calm down, that gives you a listening ear, but someone that truly will understand where you're coming from and will walk you through that journey of healing, of forgiveness, right? I've been in that position where I wanted to be understood, to be clear. And then at the end of the day, I am being misinterpreted. And this thing kept happening over and over and over. At some point, I got tired and I started seeking for someone who would listen out there. Just give me here. Just give me 20 minutes of your time. 10 minutes is okay. Let me tell you how I feel. Let me tell you what happened. And at that point, I didn't care who I shared that with. I just wanted someone to hear me out and just understand that I wasn't the one, at fault. And just understand that I am pained. I understand that I also want to, be cared for. Like, just understand it, you know. I think there are three or more, but I guess I'm gonna be sharing three. Three set of people um we share our stories with. The first set are those that really don't care. They really do not care about you, right? Well, you don't know, right? They will pretend that they really does. They do care about you, but they don't. They just want to hear the story so that they will update their friends, right, about you. They just want to have an update, like just want to know more about you. I know the funny thing about this set of people. They will keep as you're sharing it, they'll tell you, Elizabeth, why would they do this to you now? That's wrong. I know when you are sharing something and then the person is like agreeing with you that they are wrong, you will be moved to share more. So when I'm sharing my thing, my pain with you, and then you're like, Elizabeth, that's wrong, or why would they do that? And then you even help me complete one that I'm trying to say, I will not open everything, I will not be pouring it out. Now, these people know that when they show you this fake pity, right, that you will open more, that you will tell them more. And then what they do is they keep doing it so that they will hear more from you. Now, after hearing from you, they will update their friends. And when they are sharing this gossip or gist, they tend to add even more to what you did not say. Because they are trying to make it, sound sweet, sound interesting. The second set of people are those that when they hear your story, they stop seeing you the way they do before. They start seeing you through the lens of your pain, through the lens of your story. Whenever they're asking you how you are doing, you can hear pity, you can feel pity in their voice, right? You are trying to move on from that pain, but each time you see them, you remember your pain because the way they will ask you questions. How are you doing? How is that thing? Like they actually care, but they are not helping you. As much as they want to, they care. That's not what you need. You don't need someone. You need to sharing your stories, you sharing and releasing yourself, releasing that pain, right? And then working towards healing. So you don't want to go back. Imagine you going to toilet after going to toilet, you want to go back to see the people that you are you whining with. As you put it there, no going back. But they always take you back to your memories, to your pains, to the things that happen. Somehow they will chip it in. They don't see any other thing about you. The only thing they see is that pain. I remember a time I met this person and I so much loved her and I decided to open up to her on some things that had happened to me in the past that I'm still trying to heal from. But then when I shared those things with her, she stopped seeing me the way she was seeing me before. Now, when I meet her for, let's say, for example, I'm meeting her for a business plan. Like I'm meeting her, to tell her, I have a business plan. What do you think about this? How will you do? How do you think this thing should go? And let's say, for instance, this person is a counselor, right? When it comes to like he counsels people about businesses to venture into. Maybe you bring your business, idea. He will tell you, okay, how about you do this with me that way? Now, each time I bring my business idea to her, she doesn't see the business idea. What she keeps saying is the pain, right? You are trying to have a conversation with her on this business idea, but she keep taking you back to your pain. She keep reminding you of where you're coming from. Like, it's as though the person is not seeing any other thing but that pain. And many times, instead of giving you attention concerning the business plan you have, she will tell you, oh, I'm busy. I'll see you later. Right? And then when you are seeing her, you are trying to explain the business. Say, oh, Lizzie, let's talk about this later. But each time you see her, the first thing she asks you is, how are you feeling? How is it going? Ah, I feel your pain. Oh, like, but she will have real conversation with other people, on this business thing. When it comes to you, I you won't really. I don't know if I'll say you won't blame her or anything, but for her own side, she's pitying you. She really cares. But she's not helping matters, right? So you will now have to reach out to someone else that doesn't know your story so that the person will, help you sit down, check what you came with, and then, journey with you in that aspect. So this is the reason why you cannot just randomly share a story with everybody. This third set of people are almost the same thing with the second set of people, right? Just that there's a difference. Now, this third set of people are those that they will hear your story, they will console you, right? You have moved on, but you have not really moved on. Because when you guys have issue, that's when you will hear one of the most hurtful things you could ever, like you have never imagined in your life. That's when you will hear, no wonder you had issue with your grandfather. No wonder you had issue with your mother. No wonder you said this to this person. Even when they know that you're not the one at fault. Right. They try to hurt you. At times they don't mean it. They don't, like, many of them don't do it intentionally. But they try to hurt you by reminding you of what happened. And not just reminding you, but putting the blame on you. That you are the reason why this thing happened between you and these people. And that is the same why that is the same reason why that is the same way you are the reason why you guys had that issue. It might be that this present issue was his fault, but the two of us know that the other issue he had with other people wasn't his fault. But because you are pained and you weren't thinking straight, you want to hurt this person. Many times it is done intentionally, and many times it is not intentional. Something happened last year with I and a colleague of mine at where I was working before. This guy, from when I resumed work there, he was always coming around, Sister Elizabeth, how are you? he will always want to, share some stuff with me. We started gradually, and then he saw a safe space in me, and then he started pouring out some things. And one of the things he told me was how he had issue with his mom and his sister. And then when I asked for that, what happened, he explained, and I saw that it was not his fault, right? And then few months later, listen, he shared this thing with me around November, and then around January, something I had a little misunderstanding with him, which was his fault, right? And this guy is way younger, but I give everybody their respect, right? Whether younger or older. Now, after that day, he still came back 2 days later to, bring it up again, and he insulted me. I felt bad. At that point, I almost said, no wonder you had issue with. It was in my head. And that is why it is very important that before you say some things out, first think about it. Think it through your head first before you release it out. Because you don't know if it's that thing is a bullet. It's going to hit somebody and kill the person. Right? So you when the thought came in, I immediately said it is not it. The devil will always, try to, you know, uh mix things up and bring it to us and want us to accept what he's selling to us, buy what he's selling. I didn't buy to that idea. I said no, this is not it. This guy was hurt. He was not the one at fault. This is actually what happens with people when you share something with them and something happened between you and them. So the devil will remind them of what happened before between you and some other people, and then push it. Like the devil cannot just open your mouth and pour things out. You will first accept it. So when you accept it, you're not giving that thing voice. So you will now voice it out, right? So these are three set of people that we wrongly share our stories with. So you might be asking, who then am I supposed to share my story with? Since I can't randomly share my story with everybody, or maybe observe this person and know if this person can hold my story, if this person can, you know, journey with me and everything, who then should I share my story with? First person you should tell your story is God. Yes, the Holy Spirit is there to hear you out. He's there to guide you. That's the first person. And the person you should share your story with. Now, it is now the Holy Spirit that will direct you to somebody He has prepared to hold you by the hand and walk you through your healing. So, if you have given your life to Christ and you have started a journey with the Lord, the Holy Spirit is there to guide you. The Holy Spirit doesn't want to talk. He wants to hear you out. As much as they are seeing what is going on, they still want you to tell them what happened. The Holy Spirit is there to guide you, to help you heal. He's the first person. When it comes to healing journey, He is the first person, one person who will take you through that journey. No one else will take you through that journey if He has not assigned that person to you. So the first person you run to when something happens is the Holy Spirit. And I remember when I started my journey with God, it was not easy for me because I have always shared my story with anybody that cares to hear me. So, and God knows that if I keep going this way, it will not be better for any of us. So, 2023 was one of the toughest years for me. I would say that they pressed 3 years into 1 year. The pain of 3 years was pressed into just 2023. And I was going through a whole lot that year. And guys, I wanted somebody that would listen to me and hear me talk. Just hear me out. I had gotten to that point where I didn't know what to do anymore. And then I started talking to the Holy Spirit. I started sharing my painful journey, my painful experience with Him first, before the gist part. So I started sharing these things with Him, and then it got to a point where I got so attached to my book and my pen because that was the only way I could speak to Him, especially when I am in the midst of people. Anywhere I'm going to, I'm always going with my gist, my jotter, and my book and my pen. So once I get there, I'll sit down, I'll start writing. I was never tired of writing. In 2023, around 2023 and 2024, I was not tired of writing. But when my roommates were like, "Hey, what are you always writing?" Like, you're always writing something. Like, they can be inside the room, but I will not contribute to the gist. I will just be there with my book and my pen. So the Holy Spirit was my safe space. I I started joining with the Holy Spirit that way, and then I think it was 2024, towards ending of 2024, that He led me to my mentor and my spiritual mother. So that brings me to the second point. The second point is that the Holy Spirit is the one that will lead you, that will direct you to the person who needs to not just hear your story, but will help you heal from, take you to the journey of healing, right? Take you to the journey of healing. Now, 2024 November, this woman of God has been coming to my church, and she is my pastor's daughter, spiritual daughter. So I always see her, but I never had interest. Like, I have never thought of saying hi to her. I would see her pass. But that 2024 November, I still remember that very day. We were having 700 hours prayer charge in my church. Then I will not talk about it anymore. I won't call the name of the church. But if you know, you know. So we're having 700 hours prayer charge. And one of the days I heard her name. I had someone, like, I had a friend of mine who was with me, and then she left. And then I was looking for her. So I was like, where are you? Where were you? I was looking for you. She said, oh, I was sitting beside, I went to where the pastors were sitting. I was sitting beside, she mentioned her name. I was like, and it wasn't like that was the first time I was hearing her name. I said the Holy Spirit telling me, go and talk to her. Go and just go and connect with her. And then that day I was standing outside, and then when she came out, I met her, I said, hello, ma. I don't know what I want to tell you this. I feel like talking to you. And from that 2024 ending till now, she has been my covering. And sharing some things with her has never been like a gist. Every conversation has helped my healing process. And this is why I said that it is not everybody that hear your story. There is a person, a particular person that God has prepared, and this person will guide you through. And that is why you have to ask the Holy Spirit who this person is. Because He is the only one that will direct you to this person. And when you are sharing whatever thing you are sharing with this person will understand, because he has been equipped and prepared for this thing, right? And even as God has given me a covering, a mentor, I will still not say that I don't share things with God. I still have my book and my pen, guys. And I still tell God whatever thing. Only if I feel the need to share this one with her, I'll go and meet her and tell her about this one. But many times, I still talk to God, even in my peace. I know that everybody wants to share stories. Everybody wants to pour out their heart, but don't pour it anyhow. Be sure of who you are pouring it to. First of all, tell the Holy Spirit, and He will direct you to that one person that He has prepared for you, who will journey with you, who will help you heal. And at times, God will not just give you one person; He might give you like two persons or three persons. God will just give you a friend. You just find there's this safety in this friend. You can just share this thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be a minister of God. It might just be a friend, your roommate, somebody. God might just connect you with that person, and you feel the burden to share things with this person, and you are not judged, right? So I hope you understand all I've said so far. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much, and do well to subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. And if you feel or think that there's somebody that needs to see this video, please send this video to the person. Thank you so much. I'll see you on my next episode here in, is it in, I'll be on. Let's start here. Bye.